Welcome back. In his election manifesto, President Mahinda Rajapaksa named 2009 the year of IT and English for Sri Lanka. This is the first time a head of state has personally committed to such an endeavour. A bold move considering that Sri Lanka was a country in which IT literacy was very poor and where English, for a number of reasons, was primarily spoken by the upper echelons of society. Both English and IT have previously been dividing factors of Sri Lanka, drawing invisible but tangible lines separating the urban communities from the rural ones and also the privileged classes of society from the others. In our next report, we take a look at the steps the government is taking to erase these lines and instead use English and IT to unite the communities that were once divided.
If better education is the goal, it is the quality of teachers that must be the top priority. A survey done by Sri Lanka's Ministry of Education in 2007 stated that more than 60% of the teachers in the country lacked the computer and English literacy skills needed in a modern teaching environment. Another recent study revealed that while there are over 200,000 teachers working in the country at the moment, only 20,000 of them teach English as a subject. Given these statistics, the government's drive to make 2009 the year of IT in English is well timed, not only in terms of addressing this lack, but also in terms of the country's gradual return to peace. To this end, on Monday, the 11th of May 2009, the government launched an English teacher training project. The project brings together 30 English teachers from around the country for the next 3 weeks for specialized training so that they can better facilitate the teaching of English in their own districts upon their return.
This program will have effects that will be felt and experienced by those living in Jaffna, Batticaloa, Anuradhapura and Polonnaruwa districts. It is only an initial project in a greater plan aiming to improve the quality of English knowledge possessed by citizens of our country today.
This initiative, which is a key component of the Cities of Excellence program, is being implemented by the Ministry of Education with the assistance of the Presidential Initiative for English and IT. Coordinated by the Peace Secretariat, it is also supported by the US Embassy in Colombo and the Sri Lanka National Commission for UNESCO.
English continues as the language of the world, and therefore it is vital for communication. It is also extremely vital for another key that we have not worried about sufficiently for the last 50 years, which is empowerment on an equitable basis. I think one of the major problems we've faced, which has contributed to our present problems, is our failure to empower our regional sectors.
Professor Rajiva Wijaysinghe, the Secretary General of the Peace Secretariat, went on to give a more historically nuanced context to the language problem existing in Sri Lanka.
The lack of English in those areas had been a problem, and that is what led to the characterization of English in the 70s as Kadua, the sword that divided people. And I think what has happened in the last 20 years is that people have realized that this is not a weapon, but a tool. It is a tool for empowerment, and the more people in this country that have ready access to English for communication, the less unequal our society will be.
This, then, is the attitude that the government is attempting to instill in the minds of Sri Lankan citizens through initiatives like this one, focusing instead on the power of the English language as a means of common interaction between estranged communities.
My school is Kakira Central College. I am Jnana Rajan from Jaffna. I am teaching at St. John's College.
I'm Bhimpani from Hinguraggoda. I'm working at Vidyaloka Martin School, Hinguraggoda.
Another one from Batticaloa. So I'm teaching at
For these 30 teachers, it will be an opportunity to learn new teaching methodologies and techniques which they will use not only in teacher training workshops of their own when they return to their districts, but also to inspire their students to learn the language, which will open them up to a world of new possibilities and opportunities, ones that will put them on par with fellow students all over the world. Umar Ruben Ponnaya carries out his profession as a secondary level English teacher at Mankani Roman Catholic Tamil Vidyalaya in Batiklo. He spoke to us about the difficulties he faces when teaching English in a more rural school as opposed to an urban one.
I am representing the Calcutta zone. In my zone there are nearly more than 100 schools, whereas we have nearly 30 to 40 teachers of English. Since I am working in a remote school, we don't have the teachers for primary classes. So it's very difficult for us to teach when they come up to the secondary classes.
All the participants were of the opinion that this training course would be an excellent stepping stone towards remedying the problems they encounter daily in their vocations, as well as improving the communication between their communities.
In Sri Lanka, we have two communities. Each of us doesn't know anything about that other language, especially the Sinhalese they don't know about that Tamil, and as well as the Tamils, they don't know about the Sinhala. That within these 2-3 days, we have understood that really we have a good understanding when we talk in English with each other.
It is Daniel Ringold who will be conducting the training program over the next 3 weeks. Although American, he has spent the last decade involved in similar projects in Indonesia and Thailand and has been in Sri Lanka for the past 8 months, working mostly through the University of Colombo. He feels that, despite its relatively small scale, the project will have a ripple effect and prove a valuable means of spreading the English language to all parts of the country.
I think since the way the program is set up, it can have sort of a cascade effect, since these teachers then will go back to their regions and have some trainings of their own with, say, groups of 20 to 40 teachers, and then the effect is kind of multiplied. And then all of these teachers also have effects on their students. So that way, I think it could have a really large effect throughout the regions in Sri Lanka.
Turning a weapon into a tool of peace, communication and greater integration. A valuable lesson for us all, and especially resonant given the historic events over the past few days. Like to make any comments about the program? Then please write to us at SriLankaToday@yartv.net. Thank you for watching. Until next week, you take care.